Many thanks for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. On the program this morning, we'd like to take a look at the security challenges in Benue State. And of course, since over the weekend, we've been talking about the attacks on communities in Benue State, particularly the Yelewata community in Guma local government area, where according to survivors, at least 150 people were killed when gunmen attacked sleeping villagers and set houses ablaze. Of course, these has caused a lot of unrest, and we still talked about the fact that Mr. President is scheduled to visit that state. And as we speak, the security architecture of Nigeria have moved to Benue State in order to quell the situation and bring lasting peace to Benue State and, of course, some of those communities. But what exactly should government and the people be doing at this moment to sustain the momentum of peace and tranquility in Benue State? We do have a security and intelligence expert who's joining the conversation via Zoom this morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Seyi Adetayo, for joining us on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Right, Dr. Adetayo, let's start this way. From your own understanding of what is going on in Benue State, would you want to agree that this is a communal clash, or as alleged, it is an invasion of outsiders, particularly allegedly Fulani herdsmen, especially the weekend of June 13th to 14th?
Okay, if you look at the history of attacks in Benue State, you will discover that it's not different from what we've been observing in Plateau State. So they share common history in terms of herders-farmers clashes over the years. And you agree with me that previous attempts at trying to stem the tide of these attacks had been futile. And I do not see any action in the previous direction that will resolve the current impasse, both in Benue State and in Plateau State. Coming back to the issue that you raised in terms of whether they are, foreign invaders or... So the truth here is that at every point in time, we have different actors in every crisis. There are those who try to benefit from existing crises. So if you look at what the governor has said a few days back, that political actors within the state are inflaming the tension in the state, and also the people that he's accusing, which are likely politicians and those from the National Assembly, are also claiming that the governor is actually not leading. So this is actually taking us away from the old narratives that the people from outside are the one creating the problem inside. I'm not actually absorbing the fact or removing the fact that foreign elements might be part of the, perpetrators of this kind. But the issue is that who is sponsoring them? Who are those behind this current upsurge in killings in Benue State? So that is why I feel that Mr. President saw the need for him to actually be present in Benue State, because leaving it to the service chiefs or the security agencies alone to address it will only be addressed from a security standpoint. Now that issues around politics is now, it's already beclouding the whole narrative. It's important that the political leadership in the country steps in and try to show that he's the commander-in-chief, and every politician have to come, to the table and resolve their differences for us to see to the end of this.
Okay, beyond what Abimbola mentioned earlier, which is influx of foreigners into Benue State and the issue of herdsmen, Are there other layers to these crises that are hidden beyond the surface that we ordinary citizens don't know?
Okay, we've had this age-long crisis between herders-farmers. Then we also have the issues around bandits that are trying to create new enclaves. And these bandits now, it's not just about the Fulani bandits. There are bandits that are indigenous of Benue State. You would, I've forgotten the name of the notorious bandit leader in Benue State that was linked to so many killings. He had been killed by security agencies. And, in recent time, we've seen several other bandit leaders. I don't have their name top of my head right now. They are also there, they are in existence. And some of these people, one way or the other, play a significant role during electioneering campaigns. And what happens after election? Do they go back? What do they expect them to do when they've not when the political patronage has ceased after the election? So you still see those people, trying to, attack the people, also attack other bandits because they want to sustain their territory. And then we also have the influx of the herders that are notorious for kidnapping, for raping, for sacking people from farms and using the farms to feed their cattle and the rest. So those ones are there. Then of late now, the issue around political crisis in the states, is now, on the front burner. So those are the layers that, you are talking about. Right. And for us to be able to bring this to an end, we need an immediate, stoppage of hostility, seizure of hostility. And I think that's the reason why the presence of Mr. President is key. Okay. Then after that, we now need to take an approach different from what we've been doing in the past. And I've always been saying this. Sending soldiers, sending police, sending the military down there will not stop it. We're talking about areas of large expanse of land. These people are largely agrarian environment enclave, and we have lots of bushes, forests, farm plantations, and the rest, and providing covers and habitat for these people to be able to thrive. These are not areas that military can readily cover. So what military can really do in a civilian environment is for them to create a buffer. And there's no zone where you can create a buffer to prevent two people from one. So these people can go to any community at any time. They don't need to launch attack on large communities. Community with 5, 10, small family units, they can just go there, kill as many they can kill there. The killing will make the news, the tension will be everywhere. And so how many communities, those hamlets, are we going to put the military? Right. So like I said, when, my last interview as relating to Plateau State, I said, there was something that was done when I was in Anambra State. Many years back, armed robbery situation was so high in Anambra State. In fact, they were so bold to the point that before they carry out robbery attack to rob banks, they will first of all branch at, SARS headquarters at Akuzu. They will open fire on SARS, decapitate them, such that there won't be response. Immediate response. When the banks are raising response. Okay. So what happened in Anambra State there was that each community, the autonomous communities, came out to say, we need to start vigilante. So when they started this vigilante, and the government saw that there's no how they can stop these people, from, protecting themselves. They now said, okay, you know what? Let us put these arrangements under a more structured platform. So the state government there provided funds for each of the town unions, and the purchase, it was a structured and supervised purchase of pump action rifles. These rifles were documented by the Nigerian police. I think one of the commissioners then was Commissioner Adetayo, retired now, documented this, and they were trained, and they put up, response structure for them, like an ISOP, in which they were operating, and the President Generals and those that are in leadership of all town unions were involved. So these vigilantes, the security architectures in each community were provided with vehicles by the state. Okay. And each of the town unions raised money in their towns to also buy additional vehicles, and they were patrolling. So they became the first layer of security. even if you attack in one community and they cannot confront you, they can easily mobilize from neighboring communities.
Okay.
As you finish attacking this community, you are going to pass through several communities before you escape. Those people in those communities are waiting, they'll be waiting for you, and they will intercept, the marauders. And this worked.
Right.
There was no time, to my own knowledge, that there was extrajudicial killings at that time.
Okay.
Because they apprehend and they hand over to the police, or they kill during exchange of gunfire, and they take the body to the Nigerian police. And the Nigerian police take responsibility for those killings.
Right.
Because they were being supervised by the Nigerian police. And this brought to fore what the Director General of the Department of State Services said a few months ago, that we should move to another level now, where communities should be allowed to be harmed,
right,
so that they can provide the first level.
Dr. Adetayo, from what you've just told us now, which is what's worked in Anambra State, the case study which you've just given us. In Benue State, of course, there is the local vigilante group known as the Community Volunteer Guards, and it is state-backed. And so if we have such on ground, although there are worries about...
Hello, I lost you.
Can you hear me?
You're frozen.
Can you hear me now? Hello, Dr. Adetayo, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now. All right. But you can hear me now, so I can go over. Right, so you've just painted a picture of what happened in Anambra State, and it worked. And so findings have also revealed that currently in Benue State, we do have the community volunteer guards, but there are worries that they are not... Can you hear me, Dr. Adetayo? Okay, we might need to reestablish contact with Dr. Adetayo there. Of course, we did tell you that he's joining us via Zoom, and there has been a bit of network breach. Dr. Adetayo, are you back now? All right. Okay, so,
yes,
all right. And you can hear me clearly now?
Yeah, clearly.
Right. So you gave an example of what happened and what worked in Anambra State. And so report also have it that in Benue State, we don't have community volunteer guards, but there are fears that they are probably not well trained or not well equipped for this task. On your part, what would you wish to see more that is done in Benue State to activate these community guards so they are also able to nip in the bud these issues when they occur?
Okay, so every security intervention, both human intervention or technological intervention, is as good as the people that are going to operate it.
Okay.
So if the processes put in place or the way it is structured is not structured in a way that it will succeed, it will not. Okay, look at Amotekun, for example. Amotekun is a child of necessity in the Southwest. And if you look at the way Amotekun is structured, it's structured centrally. That is, the state created Amotekun via laws that were embraced within the region. So there is an existence of Amotekun in Oyo, also in Ogun State, in Ondo, in Ekiti. So, which means that, I'm not only trying to protect myself. I have other communities, adjoining communities or adjoining states around me that also have the same similar intervention, which means that threats within their state will not find my state as a convenient place for them to stay. Because when they try to flush and my state is not strong enough, then they can come here and use my place as a place where they can hibernate, as an hibernation ground for me. So the problem with Benue State is that, look at the states surrounding Benue State. You don't have any strong structure. The answer is no. If the answer is no, it means that whatever you try to do, they can move to the neighboring state and stay within, the border towns, hibernate there, come in attack, and go back there. Whatever intervention that we need to do must be all embracing. And that's one of the problems that we're having. And that's why, I appreciate the governors in the Southwest, that they are working together. And I remember I said something when I was talking about the issue in Plateau State. And the point is that you have to look at the situation, the history, and the nature of the security situations within your state before you determine which structure you want to adopt. Amotekun structure cannot work in Benue. A Moteku structure cannot work in Plateau State because the issues in those areas are local, and the people that are being attacked are small hamlets, villages, and small family units that are isolated, that are being attacked, where responses are always very, difficult to. And then we have the people attacking also living within that, particular enclave. For example, you have the Fulani communities, then you have the Birom, what they call odd communities. So it means that attackers will come from this community to come and attack. So when you have a centralized system, there will be this mutual distrust as to who the centralized system is protecting, because some of the ethnic groups that are involved in the Benue Plateau, they are minorities in that. So what I suggested then was that whatever system you are going to raise, do it like the Anambra system, where it's going to be community grown, based, that is from bottom to top. Recruitment, development should be from each of the community.
Okay.
If you are going to recruit 500, the Fulani community should raise the 500 able-bodied that will be trained. The Birom community should raise the able 500 that will be trained. After being trained, after being armed, they should be in their various locality. What that means is that they are to ensure that nobody come there to attack and nobody from there leave the place to attack, because they are working for this, central authority. But in the case of Amateku, people were, employed generally, and they were deployed in different locations to come and work.
Right.
All these things can work, but we look at how, the communities and the history of security situations in all these communities to determine whether we are building it top, bottom, or bottom
top,
up.
Okay.
So.
All right.
But it will work, and it should not be led. Okay.
Okay, from the reactions of the people of Benue State, it appears they have lost confidence in the security agents. Yesterday, we still had protests in some parts of the state. And I'm going to put that side by side with what the former Senate president said, that with the look of things, the people might start defending themselves. What do you think about this?
Oh, definitely, this has been said for a long time now. But the reality here is that, do they have the capacity? Do they have what it takes? They've made that attempt and it didn't work. That's why you see all these vigilantes. It's not working. It has to be a properly structured one. And it must not be Benue people alone. Kogi State, Enugu State, Cross River State, all the states, Nasarawa State, I think Taraba State, all the states that share boundary with Benue State must also have similar structure.
Right.
I remember many years back when Lagos State was fought for armed robbers because of Operation Sweep by the current, one of the current NDLA chairman was the governor of Lagos State then. And yes, and also when this man too was the military administrator, armed robbers left Lagos State and moved to Ogun State. Ogun State became a hotbed. At some point, people in Ijebu could no longer take it. They started taking laws into their hands. Jungle justice is everywhere. The Ijebu, I remember them, that man, I think it's Alausa name, and one other person then that was the chairman of AURTW, so in Ijebu garage then, led the vigilante in Ijebu, and they began to kill. Now we discovered then that the people were Ijebu indigents that were robbing in Lagos then. They came back home because they ran back home. And because there was nothing for them to do, they began to steal and rob in the Ijebu axis, moving all the way to, Ibadan Road towards Ibadan to rob. And Ijebu people had to clear the community then of those people. What I learned from that is that if your own end is not ready to receive the influx of those that will run or escape from the hot zone, you'll become a hibernation ground. And that place will not only become a threat territory for you, also will become a launching pad for the place where they are trying to sanitize their environment. You only do it at some point when you try to relax, they will come back. Okay. And that's what has been happening, in Benue State. They will. So whatever intervention that we're making now must be holistic. research that will take cognizance and take, will factor in all the adjoining states. And when you're taking care of all those adjoining states, the state adjoining them as well should also be taken care. So this must be a national intervention.
Okay.
And that's why I'm in agreement, in alignment with Mr. Tosin Ajayi's position, that we must use the community as the first layer of security and prepare them for this.
Right.
If you are coming to me, to my house, and then you know that I am harmed, you will think twice before you come. Or you have to go and prepare. You have to take your time to go and look for more harms and more people to come.
Right.
And when I know that is what you are doing, I will also tell my neighbors, these people are no longer coming like 2 or 3, so they are going to come like 5. So let us, all of us, have whistle. The moment I blow whistle too, know that my place is come and reinforce. That is how we will all respond to this. And I'm sure that we'll start seeing downward trend.
Right. So you've mentioned the community here. And so, again, issue of the community came up yesterday when the Chief of Defense Staff and the IGP, got to Benue State and took a tour of Yelwata where this incident occurred. But they also mentioned that taking a look at what happened, the community could also have been somehow involved because the attacks look well coordinated and targeted. And so the role of the community here is one that we cannot also do away with. And they also alleged that there could have been insiders who also worked with the attackers. Do you tend to believe in that theory?
Yeah, I quite agree with them because from the information that I've been filtering in shows that there are internal collaborators. There are issues around internal wranglings in Benue State that is involved with this particular escalation of hostilities in that particular. See, we're not saying there exist, age-long threats, attacks, in Benue. There's this perennial killings in Benue. But this particular one, this particular escalation is made, difficult by internal wranglings, allowing the non-state criminal elements that are involved in this. And coming back to what you said about trying to inspire confidence in the people, that the people are actually losing confidence, in the ability of the security agencies. I've just used this opportunity to advise our security agencies that they should be careful with what they say. They need at this point to inspire confidence. Inspiring confidence in the mind of the people is not for leadership of the military to ask the people to pray.
Okay.
Your duty is not to pray. Your duty is not to pray for the people. Your duty is not to call for prayer. Your duty is to tell them that you have the firepower. Tell them that you have well-trained people. Show them how new set of people just came back from commando, training, and they are ready to be deployed. Show them, the aircraft, the helicopters that you are deploying. Show them the armor tanks that you are moving. Okay. Show them battle-ready soldiers. That is what will inspire confidence in the people, not for you. Nigeria is not paying you to come and become a reverend father or to come and become a priest or a bishop to the people. Okay. Leave that work for the people. So, for me, yes, not that I don't believe in prayer, but leaders should actually take away issues around prayers from their communication to the people. Nigerians have been praying and we're still praying.
Okay.
Okay.
Israel is fighting Iran right now. Israel is not asking for prayer to defeat Iran. They are deploying missiles, and that is what we want to see. Okay. The security agencies doing right now. They are working, and I can give it to them. But there are certain utterances that will defeat all their effort before the people. Okay. They need to inspire more confidence.
So if there are internal collaborators in Benue State, is it so difficult for our security agents to unravel these people? And what has happened to intelligence gathering so far?
If the people are not ready to solve their own problem, it will be difficult. Mind you, you are bringing soldiers, you are bringing security intelligence to come and work there. Are you also ready to allow your state to be at peace? It's like making 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Or 1 step forward, moving 2 steps backward. And that's the reason why I believe that Mr. President wants to have frank talk. And I'm sure that at the end of his visit to Benue, we'll begin to see something different from what we've been seeing in the last 3 weeks.
Right. Dr. Adetayo, I'd like for us to also talk about issues around intelligence gathering as well as the manner or the mode of attacks by, the invaders. We do know that homes were burned, markets razed, victims shot while sleeping. And is this also a pattern that can be studied by security experts to, again, perhaps this could also lead to the people or the perpetrators of these acts? Can you marry that with the power of intelligence gathering?
Okay, so let me first say that you see, the responsibility of the intelligence agency is to gather intelligence, analyze it, and bring out the intelligence input and advice. They advise you, tell you what you need to know. Execution of those advice is not in their hands, it's in the hands of the political leadership or those that are responsible for action. And at times it could be action agency, like the military, like the police, or the Nigerian Air Force that are expected to carry it out. How well they interpret it, how well they are willing to do it, is now up to them. And some aspect has to do with policies and political, directives and the direction from those that are holding political offices to be able to carry it out. Those advices, or those advice, the advice given to them, are they in alignment with the political aspiration or the political objective of the office holder?
Okay.
If the person will benefit from the crisis, will it implement the intelligence report? So that is why there's limitation in the part of the intelligence agency. We have abundance of intelligence. There is no attack, there is no incident in Nigeria that they have not been forewarned. Go and check record. You see at times DSS are forced to come out to say, we won. The train bombing, a Cardinal train attack, they won. And they brought out the border, yes, we told them this will happen. The Ondo State attack at the church, they told them this thing will happen, they won. Several of all those attacks, they won. DSS will not come out to say, but we won them. It is only when they begin to blame them that they will be forced to now speak out to say, you know what, we did actually won. So the problem is that, the issue here is that those that received this intelligence reports, what did they do with it? Did they find it expedient enough to implement the recommendation as contained in those reports? Why was it difficult for them to implement it? So those are, issues on one hand. Then on the other hand, when you raise issues around communities that are being attacked overnight, you see, the way communities in Benue State evolve, they evolve within their farmlands.
Okay.
So you have them having houses in the town, but they also have farmsteads, where when it gets to farming season, they move from the city to the farmstead. And we're in planting season now.
Right.
So they've moved into those places, and they don't live in clusters. They live within their own farmlands,
right,
where they build their house. Now, because this thing is, we're just speaking about large expanse of land. How many soldiers, how many police are you going to put there? So we need to come to terms with the reality here. We don't have enough boots that can be put on ground. Remember, lots of hostilities in Niger State, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi going hot of recent. We have the three major states in the northeast, Adamawa, Borno State, Yobe State. In the north central, we have the Plateau State having its major issue. We have Kogi, we have Benue, we have Nasarawa still having issues. We're not talking about the southeast. So, Nigeria as it is now, we have too many calls for the military, for the police.
Okay.
Until the people are ready to come to terms with the reality that they have to work with government right now and volunteer to serve.
Okay.
And each political leadership at all levels of government should now start working together to say we need to put an end to this.
Right.
Okay, there's no doubt about it that the mood of Benue State is quite tense. These presidential visits, what do you think is going to do to the psychology of the people? And how intense should the engagement of Mr. President be with the people of Benue State?
I think it will be better than the last government. Remember when it happened last time, the president then didn't go there. There was this hues and cries and this pointing of accusing fingers, for whatever reason, the president, probably for security reasons, advice or the rest, others, he didn't go there. But he sent the service chief, even the police IGP that was sent there, that even refused to go there. All those issues happen in Benue. But we're having a different approach right now. We're seeing Mr. President going there, even ahead of him at the service chief. So I think that the people are going to be receptive of his coming. I've seen that there is a complete departure from what they experienced in the last government. And they will see Mr. President as more someone that is responsive and is, relating, ready to identify with them in this current, sad episode. And I want to believe that it will inspire some grain of hope, in the people. So let's just leave it to, Mr. President always have joker, always has something up his sleeve. I don't know what is in his mind, but I'm sure that he's going to give them more inspired towards security and safety than the way they had before his return.
All
That's
right.
his arrival.
Okay, we would have to leave this conversation here this morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Seyi, Adetayo security and intelligence expert, for finding time to join us on the conversation today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I do have a wonderful.
And you too. Right, of course, we've been speaking with our guest via Zoom, and he's taking us through, his thoughts about the security challenges in Benue State and what the visit of Mr. President is expected to do to the people. And of course, it's positive that at the end of Mr. President's visit, the approach might be a lot better.
The approach might be a lot better, and of course, the visit of Mr. President is going to boost the confidence of the people of Benue State in the security architecture of the country. But like Mr. Seyi said, if the people are not willing to give information to security agents, then how do they want the security agent to perform any magic?
Yeah.
Information is key
It is
at this
very
particular
key.
time.
And just like the CDS also said yesterday, there are community involvement in this particular issue. So if you're also putting your community at risk of such of your people, or the upper hand of people who do not belong to a community, people need to start weighing their options.
Honestly, they need to start weighing their options and, of course, drop their ego, all in the name of peace, so that these senseless killings will stop.
Right. Let's also let you know that later on the station today, we'll be bringing you live coverage from the APC Secretariat in Acme, Lagos. But from what our OB crew is telling us at the moment, we do understand that there have been arrival of party members. Remember, today, the All Progressives Congress will flag off its campaign for the local government election, and the party is also expected to present the party's flag and also officially present the candidate to the media today. And of course, Acme is agog as we speak, and we should also get visuals from there, what is going on at the moment. We do know that, of course, party members are arriving the party secretariat as we speak.
For those that are living in that side of the state, the traffic this morning was quite heavy, and some part of Acme Road are already blocked, and then we have heavy presence of security men. Last mile officials were also there trying to control traffic. So it's a big event today at Acme, the secretariat of the ruling party in Lagos State, and like we are showing now, our party members are already there with their supporters.
Right, remember the election is scheduled for July 12, and of course today the party will kick off its campaign. So after now, it means that all the